What's good, everybody? It's your boy NBU Tree, and welcome back to my channel. Today I got Reasonable Crash Out 3. I ain't even seen the first two, but this one came out like 7 days ago, so hey, I'll just be bringing y'all whatever I see that I might like, bring it to the channel. This channel is all over the place. We went from basketball to fighting to K-pop. Now we doing all music videos, and now we doing Reasonable Crash Outs. It's a compilation, obviously. Before I get into the video, subscribe to the channel. This is a new channel. I think I got 23 subs. I'm trying to hit 100 right now. So yeah, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. But let's get into the video. Oh hell no.
And so we have
I forgot about that. That is a reasonable. I ain't gonna say that's a reasonable crash out, depending on how many times it was. Because if I try to put that dollar in there like 3 times and it did that, then that's a reasonable crash out. Not gonna lie, that's a reasonable crash out. But if that was off the first time, nigga, you need anger management.
to the infamous series of Reasonable Crash Outs. I once again want to say I appreciate everybody who's tapped into these videos because they went dumb, stupid, crazy. We were going 2 for 2 with these. It's mad. And I really do want to turn this into a crazy series where I can talk about a bunch of different characters from everywhere. So hopefully we can keep getting some motion on these. Now I've done some parading, some researching, and a lot of information gathering to find some more people to cover and why them acting a certain type of way was just making sense. How bugging out and going crazy for these characters was justified at the moment. And how we can look at some of these characters and really relate to them. And trust me when I say there's a bunch of times these moments happen that we can all agree had to happen. And I selected a certain few today to add to the league. So without further yapping, let's get into it, man. And we are starting with one of the greatest MCU characters of all time. The man who pioneered the whole entire generation of Marvel movies and is straight up practically the Godfather. And I'm speaking about none other than the invincible Iron Man. Now hopefully we can all agree as a collective, Iron Man has one of the most reasonable crash outs of all time. And there's no arguing, it's impossible. I can understand the whole divide between being a team Cap and a team Iron Man throughout the whole of Civil War. Whether that be you were just against the Sokovia Accords or you were just team Iron Man because Spider-Man was there. We ain't judging, man, we ain't judging. But I understand both perspectives and how people can lean one way or the other. And I want to start off by saying I am not agreeing with the Sokovia Accords. I don't believe in giving the government the ability to ever have control over superheroes. This is not the boys universe, bro. You mean to tell me if a city is getting leveled, I go ask you for permission before I go? Shut the hell up, man. What are you talking about?
That is dumb as hell. Like, as a superhero, why would I have to get permission to go save anybody? That shit was dumb as hell, bro.
And then if they needed me for some shit saying the president needs you to jump, I'm supposed to ask how high? What? Bro, I swear, if I was a superhero, I would crash out at the government. I've mentioned before, the government are always the stupidest people in all superhero movies. They're all haters. Reminds me of Lex Luthor in the latest Superman movie, because low-key, this guy was a D1 level hater. He was button mashing, talking about 1A, 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 1A. The guy was a sicko, man. However, the whole difference between Iron Man and Captain America's standpoints are just very personal to each of them. Iron Man just saw what people with power were doing with his technology throughout his entire trilogy, selling weapons to mass governments, which in turn caused a bunch of casualties and destruction among a lot of people, which probably swayed him more to aligning himself to the government. And after everything that happened in Sokovia and all the problems Ultron caused, which Iron Man held himself accountable for since he even brought up the idea of Ultron, it just made sense. And at the time, it just flipped a switch in him, saying that heroes in general need to take more accountability for their actions and be held responsible. Whereas Captain America, somebody who stood behind the government working for them and completing loads of missions for them, just saw how they were corrupted with groups like Hydra infiltrating giant groups like S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Winter Soldier, and seeing what they did to Bucky, which just showed him that he couldn't trust him at all, making him have a whole mindset of just operating off the freedom of doing it themselves and keeping saving the world amongst other heroes. Both of these arguments make sense, and I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't hate on you if you are on one side or the other. But I do think at times in the movie, and that's shown throughout the entire MCU, let's be real now, Iron Man was not gonna go through with the Accords like that, man. I mean, like I said earlier, even though Iron Man was swinging more to the government side, he was still the same guy who wouldn't listen to anybody if they told him to do something crazy. Like when they tried to take his suits in Iron Man 2 and bro was just straight up airing them. Or even near enough to the end of Civil War when Steve breaks into the raft to break everybody out on his side, Tony gets a call from General Ross to come defend him, but he just sends this man straight to voicemail. So really and truly, this kind of made Iron Man's whole ideology of even following the Accords throughout the entire movie useless. And why would he follow it fully? He's Iron Man. His whole personality is never really following the rules like that, I'll be real. But truthfully, I wouldn't say it's useless unless I didn't think Iron Man was doing it for more of an important reason. Let me open your eyes here, let me explain. I really and truly believe to some extent.
I would say I'm not seeing the crash out here. You said reasonable crash out, and I have not seen a crash out yet.
extent that Iron Man was more on the side of the Sokovia Accords and Civil War being approved was because he wanted to keep the Avengers together. Like in the hangar scene before they're about to scrap, Tony then says you're gonna come because it's us. He didn't have no motivational speech planned out or even some quick quip or joke about taking this shit more seriously. Tony just straight up said how it was. He just wanted to keep the Avengers together rather than being labeled terrorists or just straight up villains. And this is what pulled me more to Iron Man's side, because even though Captain America was making a really good case throughout the movie and literally being the only guy to read their codes to actually see what the hell they were getting themselves into, it's the way that Tony sees this as more keeping his family together and making sure all the man them are cool with each other. And plus, we all know damn well even if they all signed it, they wouldn't have followed it anyway. What the hell are we talking about? Iron Man is the last person to take orders from anyone, remember that. But genuinely, the real reason why I'm Team Iron Man is because Captain America is a flipping snake. There is no way in life, in the beauty of life and planet Earth itself, that I confidently would watch a flipping video of my parents getting murked. And you really think I'm not gonna activate knowing the murderer is 2 steps away from me? Are you mad? Shut the hell up, man, and get out of my way. This is still one of the biggest debates people have today. Civil War came out 9 years ago and people still talk about this shit. Bucky just standing there, just watching Tony watch the tape, knowing full well that he murked his parents. Even saying in the movie he remembers everyone. Even though it wasn't him, I couldn't give less of a shit, man. If I saw this tape, no hesitation, in 5 seconds, I'm gonna laser the shit out of Bucky, hit him with this 3-piece combo and a flipping foot dive. I'm telling you, regardless of the guy consciously committing the action or not, what sane individual would actually let the murderer of their parents go free? What the hell are we talking about here? If you were in Iron Man's shoes, the only thing on your mind, whether you are mentally stable or not, would undeniably be absolute fury. Especially knowing the murderer is right next to you, you're taking a piss. We've seen moments.
Oh no, he did right. When he found out that Bucky is the one who killed his parents, he had all right to beat the shit out of him. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I would have did the same shit. And then the fact that him and Cap jumped him was crazy. Like, why are you helping him and you know he didn't know? I don't care that he didn't know. It was you though. So you getting these hands put on you. And Cap, you gotta get it too if you jumping in.
Like this time and time again in Marvel movies. From Thor chopping off Thanos' head in Endgame because he violated the man in movie before, to Peter Quill absolutely shooting the shit out of Ego like he's Django for killing his mom. And all of these moments generally came from emotion. But then again, the crazy confrontation Tony had and his crash out against Bucky could have been avoided if Cap told the guy he killed his parents. Right. Cap had so much time to tell this guy he murdered his parents. The gap between the Winter Soldier and Civil War in the MCU timeline is 2 years. So he had 2 years to tell him that, oh shit, Bucky killed your parents, man. But nah, he didn't tell him. And instead of just trying to subdue both Tony and Bucky, he just joins sides with Bucky and starts jumping this man. Right. That's crazy. But it didn't matter because Iron Man was handing them their asses in a fight. But then he lost because it's a Captain America movie, which is some bullshit, man. Just saying though, if you were a Team Cap or a Team Iron Man, I still respect you. I mean, the Accords don't make no sense. Hopefully we can all agree that was definitely some bullshit. But nonetheless, Tony was betrayed by his friend, his teammate, and only wanted to keep the team together. And I can understand Cap's perspective on why he was pulling some of the crap in the movie. Bucky is his oldest friend and he wanted to save him, but he was just dead wrong for how he went about it, thus betraying Tony, which wasn't the right move. Even with him knowing prior that he killed his parents, which he should have just told the guy in advance so he probably wouldn't have reacted the way he did. Iron Man bugging out just made sense, and if I was put into his same position, I'm packing Bucky. I swear this man is finished. Right. Now going on to my next crash out, we have one of the greatest superheroes of all time, somebody who took the role of being a hero professionally and wanted to be better, the man himself. Now let's just cut the shit. Mark has been Hulk since season 1 of the show. He's always trying to do the right thing and be the hero he aspired to be. But somehow, some way, this guy gets into the most hater situations and gets his shit rocked 9% of the time. I'll be honest.
Nah, Mark be getting his ass beat the fuck up. Beat up. Like, I know this show called Invincible, but he be getting beat up. And somehow he find a way to win, but he be getting his buns tore to shreds, bro.
Before the end of season 3, Mark had way too much patience. Because if it were me, we'd be fighting, bro. We'd be boxing. So let's go over some examples so I can just show you how every time Mark started going crazy or should have gone crazy, it would have made sense. When Mark was helping Tyne overthrow Machine Head and saw this guy getting finessed and jumped by his lackeys, when he started backing him and throwing these hands, right after this, Battle Beast starts beating the shit out of him. And the crazy thing about this is that none of this shit mattered because Titan set him up to take over, literally putting the guy in a life or death situation for his own benefit. Just for him to get played again in season 3, getting put into another life or death situation. Hell no, man. Titan is on some kingpin shit. And even though he was practically asking Mark to do his job, he took advantage of this for his own benefit, using the guy, which ultimately almost got him killed twice. I'm bugging if this shit happened to me, I swear. And then we move on to talking about the hater himself, Angstrom Levy, who really and
yeah.
truly wasn't making sense once here. In his first appearance, where Mark came in and was thinking some crazy world-ending shit was going on when Angstrom was trying to create a whole hive mind between all of his alternate universe selves, when Mark was getting his ass jumped by all the different versions of the Mauler twins, that's when Angstrom decides to take off the helmet like a dumbass. And bear in mind, nobody was touching the machine, so his whole experiment could have kept going. So the guy decided to mess his own shit up. Then when the experiment fails and Angstrom fuses with all the rest of his different selves and goes ranting saying he's gonna kill Invincible. As much as the word accountability is lacking here, he was low-key kind of making some sense here, since all the memories of all the different versions of him got put together in one place. Now he can't detach the idea of Invincible being a villain from the only good ones across the entire multiverse, since every other version of Invincible is evil. So I was thinking at the time he's gonna crash out against every version of Invincible, and guess what? That shit never happened. This man, this criminal, targeted the only good Invincible across the entire multiverse. The man made it personal, beat the shit out of Debbie and was scaring the hell out of Oliver as a baby. Then when Invincible pulled up, Angstrom just starts kicking his ass across the entire multiverse. Every time he threw a different bang, it was a new dimension. All the shit this guy was doing the entire episode was just testing the man's patience. Then as soon as he mentioned, I'm gonna kill your family too, bro was cooked it and he got packed. Straight up, get this man a self-revive. He was finished. Then the next time we see Angstrom, this shit was the most diabolical mixed with stupid I've ever seen in my life, bro. The same guy who has all the memories and all the past traumas of all the other Angstroms who lost their Earths to Viltrumite rule by Marks across the different universes they come from, just starts moving on some the enemy of my enemy is my friend type shit and allies himself with different Invincibles. My guy, they killed your families, bro. What? Angstrom hates the only good version of Mark so much, he just decided to work alongside the evil versions of himself who took way more from him than Invincible did. Where's the logic here? It wasn't making sense. And used the Marks to destroy and kill thousands of people to get at one person. Angstrom, man, what the hell are you doing? And when Mark started activating on this man, as soon as he could, bro was really gonna kill him. But he hesitated and Angstrom got away because he was lucky. Mark crashing out on this guy was just making sense. This man was hating for a mistake he made. Shit, he should have blamed the Mauler twins more since they were gonna kill Mark, and that's what even got him to take off the helmet in the first place. But nah, he blames the hero. And this guy didn't even do as much as the other versions of him destroying planets and killing his own families and his children. Yeah, Angstrom wants to be on his bad side. Make it make sense, man. But we can't speak about Invincible without mentioning the demon himself, Conquest. And there are no words in the English dictionary to describe how heinous this guy is. The guy is the embodiment of what it means to truly be a sicko, and was Mark's final test before he decided he's gonna go full Batman and start beating the shit out of his enemies. Their fight was leveling cities, and whilst Mark was genuinely struggling, this fiend was enjoying every last bit of it. Bro couldn't get enough of absolutely whipping this man. He was getting turned on boxing with him and enjoying every moment of fighting with this guy. This guy was doing heinous shit.
He said his own people was scared of him or creeped out of him. That's why they sent him to do the dirty work to get him away from them, basically. So what you expect?
Like smacking Oliver and spinning him like he's a Beyblade, blitzing Mark through whole cities, even worse than what Omni-Man did in Chicago, decimated Adam Eve, and just full on gave this guy one crazy traumatizing experience, causing Invincible to once again crash out and kill the guy. And I don't blame him for doing that. Conquest was a sicko, he was a demon. And there's even other crash out moments in Invincible, like when Cecil was working alongside people like Sinclair, who were turning people into a bunch of robot zombies, almost doing that to William, the new Darkwing who killed a bunch of people, and he even put a device in Mark's brain which could potentially kill him. And the only reason Mark was against any of these men is because they were straight up criminals. He even used the reaniman to beat the shit out of the guy. If I'm being real here, compared to a lot of superheroes I've seen, Mark had way too much patience. He would get beat up and his life would be on the line 24/7 with people crashing out at him at all different ways at the extreme. And he kept turning the other cheek and wanted to stay a good guy, only to see the amount of destruction they were causing to finally decide he's gonna go full vigilante. Which I get, look at everything the guy went through. Mark crashing out on the majority of crazy people he thought was just making sense. And if I was Mark and been through all the same shit, I would have been tired. It would have been overfired powers, believe it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the final culprit of this video. And this person would barely get angry, but when they did, it was 100% justified. They would be bugging at the most serious situations that we could all relate to, and they were just speaking facts. But without further yap, I present to you the one and only SpongeBob SquarePants. And despite SpongeBob always being a happy...
I was not expecting SpongeBob of all people. Well, we have a reason to crash out about. I gotta wait and see.
Go-to guy who rarely displays anger and ever actually throws a fit. In life, it's always the people that never get angry that you should never anger, because these guys just start going crazy. Every time SpongeBob would go local, there was always a reason behind it. Like when Squidward was crashing at this guy's place because he was homeless after quitting his job at the Krusty Krab, and he was talking crazy to this guy. He was demanding drinks and entertainment of the guy in a maid outfit. He was sus, man. And the look on SpongeBob's face every time he would get asked something, he was fuming, fam. You can see the mob meter build up. He was about to start going crazy. SpongeBob was getting so pressed that he was spelling his food, get a job, and he still wasn't taking the hint. And cause Squidward wasn't listening, SpongeBob fully broke the roof of his own crib, dragging him all the way to the Krusty Krab and threatening Mr. Krabs like crazy, telling him to give his job back. And this wasn't the only time SpongeBob crashed out. There's other times like Patrick not getting the footage for a movie they were supposed to be filming, and SpongeBob went crazy. The guy was out here eating worms and shit. Or when SpongeBob got stuck in a ringer and Patrick glued the guy to it with forever glue, ruining the guy's day completely. All the time Patrick and SpongeBob were looking after a baby, and he just dashed ice cream and donuts over Patrick. He was pressed there. Every single time SpongeBob would actually get mad, it was actually for a good reason. Even when Mr. Krabs was teaching this man how to make a Krabby Patty and he was bugging, SpongeBob doesn't even get mad like that. Him and Patrick usually always bait Squidward and get this guy completely pressed every 5 seconds. But with every time SpongeBob would get angry, he was angry for a reason. And that's saying a lot, because half of the dumb stuff these guys do are for no reason and don't really add up. But in conclusion, SpongeBob is definitely up there, man. He's up there. But now we're at the end, and these were some more reasonable crash outs I had. If you man got any more or disagree with the ones I mentioned, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. I love all you, man. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
The only one I'm gonna say is the Ironman one. At first, he lost me because he was all over the place with it. Where he should have just got to the point of why he crashed out. I get it. You want to build up to the crash out, but he kind of lost me with that one. Iron Man did have a reasonable crash out though. Bucky did take his parents out, and Cap knew about it and didn't say nothing to him. So I would have put hands on Cap and Bucky, which he did. He lost because he got jumped, but still, reasonable crash out. If you want to see me do more of these, drop it down in the comments and let me know. But like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the post notification bell so anytime I drop a video. Check out all my playlists. Drop down in the comments any other videos you want me to do. It ain't just got to be reasonable crash outs. It could be any other thing. Yeah, I'm Tree, and y'all have a good one. Peace.